Family, buckle up because today's episode is about exposing the hypocrisy, dysfunction and outright chaos inside the British royal family. And trust me, after hearing this, you will once again understand why Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were absolutely right to pack their bags, leave that mess behind and build their lives in peace, integrity and dignity. So, what's happening now? Apparently there's a civil war brewing between Prince William and King Charles over how to deal with the Yorks. That's Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. And yes, the whole thing got reignited because Sarah Ferguson's 2011 email to Jeffrey Epstein has resurfaced. In that email, she literally apologised to Epstein, buttered him up with flattery and begged him not to sue her. Let that sink in. This isn't speculation. This isn't a rumour planted by palace insiders about Harry and Meghan. This is documented, published, on-the-record behaviour. And what's happening now? 7 charities have already cut ties with Sarah Ferguson, and the scandal is snowballing. But here's where the hypocrisy slaps us in the face. Instead of the monarchy dealing with Andrew and Fergie decisively, instead of Charles and William showing moral backbone, we're watching them bicker over whether Andrew and Sarah should be banished or quietly kept on the royal payroll. Charles wants to keep them close, while William is stomping his feet, demanding that they be cast out of royal life. And notice something, squad. Every time Andrew or Fergie's filth gets exposed, the tabloids suddenly drag Harry and Meghan's names into the story. This time it's no different. Charles is supposedly worried that if he cuts off Andrew and Sarah, they'll go rogue like the Sussexes. Excuse me? Since when did building a career, running successful charities, producing global content and raising your children in safety equal going rogue? Harry and Meghan left a toxic, racist institution that repeatedly tried to destroy them. That's not rogue, that's survival, that's liberation. But Andrew, a man who settled a sexual assault lawsuit linked to Epstein's trafficking ring, he's loyal to the crown? And Sarah emailing Epstein apologising for daring to criticise him, she's considered salvageable. This is the rotten double standard the monarchy wants us to swallow. Now let's break down the two sides. William, the so-called future king, is pushing hard to evict Andrew and Fergie from Royal Lodge. He's been described as calling them a pair of chancers, claiming their presence embarrasses the monarchy. But don't get it twisted. William isn't doing this out of moral principle. He's not concerned about victims, about the seriousness of Epstein's crimes, or about the stain on the monarchy's reputation. No, he wants Royal Lodge for himself. That's the prize here. Let's not forget, Andrew has a 30-room mansion at Windsor. William wants it. He's had his eye on it for years. That's why he's suddenly so outraged at Andrew and Sarah. It's not morality, it's greed. And Charles, he's dragging his feet because he knows if he pushes Andrew too far, Andrew could start talking. And let me tell you, family, Andrew knows where the skeletons are buried. Mutual assured destruction, that's the game they're playing. Charles can't risk a full-scale war with Andrew because it would blow the lid off the monarchy's dirty secrets. That's why Charles is tiptoeing around, muttering about the late Queen's wishes and trying to keep Sarah close. It's weak, it's cowardly, and it shows you just how fragile the monarchy really is. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan, who have never harmed a soul, who have never trafficked in scandal, who have never written flattering emails to sex offenders, are the ones vilified, smeared and scapegoated daily. Think about how insane that is. Andrew still lives in luxury, protected by the institution. Sarah is still playing Duchess at charity events, until recently when charities finally woke up and started cutting ties. But Harry and Meghan, who walked away to protect their family, they're branded traitors. This is why I say the monarchy is crumbling from within. The firm is rotting at its core, eaten alive by hypocrisy, jealousy and corruption. William and Charles aren't leaders. They're petty, self-serving men fighting over properties and optics while the world looks on in disgust. Let's also not forget how the media plays its role. Instead of giving front-page outrage to Andrew and Sarah's behaviour, the tabloids spin this as, how do we stop another Sussex situation? They're obsessed with Harry and Meghan because the Sussexes hold up a mirror that exposes just how pathetic the rest of them are. The contrast is brutal. The Yorks clinging to Epstein connections, the Windsors fighting over mansions, the Sussexes building Archewell, producing award-winning documentaries, winning lawsuits against tabloids and raising two beautiful children with love. Tell me who looks like the real royals here. Spoiler, it's not Charles, William, Andrew or Sarah. And family, don't miss the bigger picture here. If Charles and William can't agree on something as clear-cut as the Yorks, what happens when the real crises hit? Climate change, economic pressures, the growing calls to abolish the monarchy? They'll collapse like a house of cards because the institution has no moral compass. Harry and Meghan saw this years ago. They weren't naive. They recognized that this system couldn't be fixed. And instead of sinking with the ship, they charted their own course. That's leadership, that's courage, and that's why the Sussexes are thriving, while the rest of the Windsors keep drowning in scandal after scandal. So let the palace insiders leak, let the tabloids spin, let William throw tantrums and Charles wring his hands. The truth is, they've already lost the moral war. Harry and Meghan won by simply stepping out of the darkness and choosing freedom. And to everyone listening right now, let this be a reminder. Every time the media attacks Harry and Meghan, it's because they need a distraction from Andrew, Sarah and the rest of the royal mess. Don't fall for it. Keep your eyes on the real scandal. Prince William and King Charles disagree about what to do about the Yorks over the weekend. Sarah Ferguson's bonkers email to Jeffrey Epstein, sent in 2011, was published in the Mail. Fergie apologised to Epstein for publicly cutting ties with him and bad-mouthing him, and she poured on the flattery in an attempt to dissuade Epstein from suing her. I thought this was going to end up as yet another story where we learned something new about Fergie or Prince Andrew's depravity and nothing happened. But something is happening this time. 7 charities have cut their ties with Sarah, and there are renewed and widespread calls for King Charles to punish the Yorks. Some of those calls are coming from within the family. That's right, Prince William is still rage-briefing, this time about the Yorks, and of course there's yet another attempt to connect the Yorks and the Sussexes. Prince William and his father are at odds over whether to banish Sarah Ferguson and Prince Andrew over their friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, a royal source has told the Daily Mail. King Charles doesn't want to completely disown the Duchess of York and his brother, because they have been loyal to him and the crown, unlike Harry and Meghan. But the more hardline Prince of Wales considers his uncle and aunt to be a pair of chancers, and had enough of them long before the Duchess of York's latest scandal. William's face, as he stood next to Andrew at the Duchess of Kent's funeral, said it all, an insider said. However, for now, Charles is said to not want to cut all ties to ensure his sister-in-law doesn't go rogue like the Sussexes and respect the wishes of his late mother, the Queen. But he will likely immediately ban the divorced couple from appearing in public with the royal family at events such as Christmas. He may also finally evict them from Royal Lodge, their Windsor mansion, which William is said to be demanding as a minimum. The difference between the Yorks and the Sussexes is that Andrew and Fergie have never publicly criticised the monarchy or the king. Andrew's friends say that even in private they've never heard him say a bad word about his brother, the Mail's royal source said. The king doesn't want to cut ties with his brother, former sister-in-law and that side of the family. The late Queen, conscious that Fergie was the mother of her granddaughters, always took that view, even if Prince Philip couldn't bear to be in the same room as Sarah. But the monarch faces a battle with Prince William, who will be urging his father to take the chance to cut them loose and kick them out of their 30-bedroom home close to Windsor Castle. William has his eye on the future of the royal family, and for the good of the family they must never be seen at events again, the Mail's insider has said. William feels even more strongly than the king that Andrew and Fergie are an embarrassment and will be urging his father to act, the source claimed. The optics of that pair of chancers guffawing away at events look terrible. The Prince of Wales is said to want them out of the Royal Lodge to fend for themselves. Andrew has reportedly refused to move to the much smaller Frogmore Cottage. The royal source has suggested the palace may advise Sarah Ferguson to do a mea culpa interview. I think there's plenty more to come out yet about Epstein and Andrew. Perhaps the royal household should be thinking about pre-empting it all by coming clean, the source said. The Duchess of York can be extraordinarily charming, so I'm sure she will be backpedaling furiously. But this latest scandal threatens her ability to earn money as well as her charity patronages. Who can say what effect that will have on the Yorks' ability to afford the costs of staying at Royal Lodge, where they live at opposite ends of the 30-room house? The Prince of Wales is said to want them out of the Royal Lodge to fend for themselves. Like, Charles has tried. Andrew has a valid lease with the Crown Estates, and Andrew also has a stash of money to pay for Royal Lodge's upkeep. How Andrew got that money no one really knows, but he does have money. He's not dependent on Fergie's income. If Andrew is evicted, he'll sue or make a big stink about it too, which is the real reason why Charles has never gone too hard on the Yorks. Andrew knows too much, and it would be mutually assured destruction. Does William realise that? Does William realise that if the Yorks are completely cut off, they'll start talking because there won't be anything holding them back? Before we wrap this up, I just want to thank you all for riding with me here on the Sussex Squad Podcast. You know we keep it real, we tell the truth, and we protect Harry and Meghan from the lies and smears. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and if you'd like to support the channel, please consider donating through Super Thanks. Every contribution helps us keep shining a light on the truth and defending the Sussexes. Family, remember, Harry and Meghan are living proof that you can walk away from toxicity and thrive. That's the message we stand on, and that's why the Sussex Squad will never be silenced. Until next time, stay strong, stay loud, and stay proud.